Hey folks, welcome to the Mike Lopez TV Show. I'm your host, ACMike. We'll bring you all things Atlantic City and our local region. Politics, sports, dining, entertainment, and so much more. On tonight's show, we will be joined by our guest, Larry Meli, president of the Delaware Blue Coats. So stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. We're here with Larry Meli, president of the Delaware Blue Coats. Larry, welcome to the show, man. So glad that you're out here joining us here at Stockton University for our big show. I got to know you a little bit through your brother, John. Interesting character. That's for another show. Yeah. That's for another show, another time. But let's get to know, before we dive into the Blue Coats, a little bit about your, history with what you're doing, marketing, basketball, and being able to do something like this. I know it's got to have its moments, but to be able to do something like this for a living.
Definitely. Dream come true, for sure. I grew up in Media, Pennsylvania, moved to South Jersey back in 2000, started my career, with the Philadelphia Eagles in the mid-90s. In fact, the week that I started, Jeffrey Lurie had purchased the team. So, here's a local kid that is, rooted for all these teams growing up, and had the chance to work and start and cut my teeth with the Eagles was certainly a dream come true. And once Comcast purchased the 76ers and Flyers, I ended up working for the Flyers, launching their minor league hockey team, the Philadelphia Phantoms, if you've heard of them. So started my career there, and then the opportunity came up with the Sixers, and I've been in different roles with them through the last 27 years. With the Sixers, leading to where I am now as president of the Blue Coats.
So, Larry, when you say that again, I sit here smiling. I see it on your face. I know there had to be hectic, crazy times when you're, just working behind the scenes and everybody sees the finished product, so to speak. Just, again, you touched on it, but it had to be like with your buddies. And when you said that, it kind of hit me like Vince Papale, like when he's, he's in the bar at Invincible and he gets to talk to his buds. I mean, what was that like? Like you said, you're a kid, you're there, you're watching these guys, and I don't want to say they're your idols, but it's pretty cool. You're following them, you got their cards or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. Again, just going into that as a guy trying to keep, because I would have had a hard time doing it, because listen, at that time, we had season tickets to the Eagles. We shared them, a bunch of guys, and we would literally have to tape the games to watch them on Monday because we were a wreck. Having a good time, working, how did you have that restraint, man? I mean...
Yeah, it's funny, like the fandom part,
right,
you kind of have to put that aside a little bit, but you can channel that passion into your job. But yeah, for the, chasing players down for autographs, like at some point you got to check that once you get into the industry and be a professional, really. But to think that kid growing up being Philly through and through and all of his teams, I ended up working almost for all four teams. I mean, it was really a dream come true, and knowing, the tough thing sometimes about our business is that we work on the weekends. Mm. So I get calls from my buddies like, hey, you want to come out? We're at the bar or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm starting like the second shift here. And, we have a game that night. So there were some sacrifices that had to be made, but certainly because I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was going to touch on a little bit, because I'm sure there was a lot of times, whether you're a family man and or you weren't, that whether it was different shifts or holidays that you're away, you're traveling, that sort of thing. So very cool. I like it. I kick myself in the sometimes for not going in that route, but what, life is life. The Blue Coats. Tell us about the Blue Coats. I mean, we've been hearing about it. G League. I want to say, how many years now? That has been in existence, and then talk to us about Delaware.
Yeah. So think about minor league baseball. It's been around for 100+ years. Minor league basketball hasn't been affiliated with the NBA. Has only been around for maybe 25+ years. So we were a little late, to the game in getting that established. But when we first started in Delaware, it was 2013, there was only 14 teams that had a G League affiliate. Fast forward to this year, all 30 teams have, 31 teams have a G League affiliate. And it's a very big part of the player development for the NBA.
Yeah. And when you talk about player development, you know, we talked about this a little on our radio show, and I was so glad to have you there as well. The player development, I mean, we're talking one and done now. I mean, for the folks at home, one and done, they go to freshman and then they're done. Money, right? I mean, talk about that, because you're taking a kid, maybe he's not going to be a first-round draft choice or maybe even second. I don't even know how many they have now, and you're going to tell us. But, you know, the instruction when they come out of these high schools or these AAU teams or whatnot, what is that like, and what is the Blue Coats and the Sixers providing for these young men? Yeah,
it's a critical piece of player development, right? You draft guys that sometimes it might be a first rounder, but for the most part, I like pay attention to the second round, because I know those are guys that are probably going to come to Delaware and they just need more development because they come out so young, Mike. And so we help them really become a professional, work on their game. They get professional coaches that help them grow. And, you know, our job on the basketball side is to develop, you know, players that can hopefully someday help the 76ers. And we've seen that, you know, this year. Like, the Sixers were decimated with injuries, and many of the Blue Coats were up even just to help round out a practice, right? Because the guys were hurt. And guys like Ricky Council, Justin Edwards were kind of critical parts now of the Sixers rotation, but they cut their teeth in Delaware.
And when you say that again, you touching on them coming up to the big, to the show, so to speak. I know we're not talking baseball, but with them being in the Blue Coat, the 76ers organization, how frequent is it when you lose somebody like that? I mean, the time invested, or these, what I'm trying to say, Larry, do they have contracts with you as well, or is that, you know, if somebody offers them something, hey, man, go ahead and go do it?
Yeah, for the most part, they're free agents.
Okay.
Right, so any team, any NBA team could come in and take a player at any point during the year. We have 3 players that are basically two-way players, so they go back and forth between the Sixers and the Blue Coats. They only have a certain amount of time, though, that they could be up with the Sixers.
Is it still 11? Back in the day, it used to be.
No, so it's like, I think it's close to like 90 days. And that includes like practice as well. So once that time is up, they have to be back in Delaware. But then, you know, you got guys that get assigned to Delaware as well that are NBA players that maybe not getting a lot of time with the big team, but they want to come down and play and get some, you know, reps in. That happens as well. So you got guys that are just kind of on the team that are trying to make their way and pursue that dream. And then you have other guys that are part of the Sixers organization that go back and forth.
Right. Yeah. And with the Blue Coats, some success. You know, I know the season has just recently gotten over as we taped this show. But, you know, talk about some of that success and the accessibility of our viewers and folks to go out and see them.
I never thought winning mattered on the minor league side, but it does. It matters on any level. Yeah. So you have to walk that line of development and winning. And for the past 4 years, we've been to the G League Finals 3 times, won it 2 years ago. So we were in the playoffs 4 years in a row. This is the first year in 4 that we didn't make it. So it's a little bit different. Like, wait, what happened here? You know, but I don't, you know, to your point earlier, like, I don't know how you coach at this level, knowing that players can be taken at any moment. So it's a challenge, but we have some amazing coaches, and we work closely with the Sixers basketball people to make sure that you know, we have a team that we can field to.
Right, and when you say development, I mean, and you touched on winning. It sounds weird probably to some of our viewers, but I get it. You're saying we want to develop, but winning is part of that development, right? When you learn, guys walk a little bit different, and gals, you know, whatever sport it may be, when you're not cocky but confident.
Right, and not only for the team, but like just the community. It's like, it's a sense of like civic pride. Hey, our team is winning, right? There's only 60 teams in the part of the NBA that have 60 cities that are part of the NBA franchise, right? The G League, the W, and the NBA. And Wilmington, Delaware, which I think is a regional team, is part of that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And we just talked about the recent call-ups. I mean, one of your recent call-ups, and then we'll touch real quick on him, was Mac. Back a few years ago.
Yes.
I mean, talk about that. He took the world by storm, still is when it comes to slam dunk. Talented basketball player. Talk about that experience for a little bit.
It was
you guys.
incredible because normally we don't have household names running up and down our court, right? Like, these are guys that played high-level Division I, but many people don't know who they are. And Mac McClung was like this YouTube sensation, great talent. With us, he led us to our first championship. But then he also has like these incredible ups. Like, he can dunk like no one you've seen. And when he won his first dunk championship, was on the Blue Coats. And it was like our marketing plan. I didn't, just roll out Mac McClung and people were showing up to see what he was all about. And so it was a really cool
And he takes
time.
the NBA, the All-Star weekend, and they're like, who's this guy? And he's just like putting it up, and it was crazy.
He's won 3 dunk contests in a
NBA,
row.
right.
So
that's great.
It's great for him. And he's actually in the Orlando Magic program. So he's helping them down there now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Again, that's what caught my eye to the G League. Actually, it was him. Not that I didn't know it existed. Fan experience when they go out to one of your games. Talk about that.
So we have this incredible product on the floor. But like I said, not necessarily you got Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey running on the floor. So we also build the experience around it. So when you come to a game, it's focused on families. So we have, for some games, a length of the court, kids zone with inflatables, face painters, balloon artists, all of that. And basically they help, it's like going to the beach here in Atlantic City. Parents can sit back, enjoy the game, and their kids are over there having fun.
Yeah, having a blast.
Yeah.
And that really is, when you talk about that, I remember back the Atlantic City Surf baseball. It was independent league, wasn't affiliated. I think that was kind of the problem. But it was just such a great time, whether it was hot dogs being shot out or whatever it may be. It's that experience. Right. And you're watching good basketball with you guys as well, with the Blue Coats.
Yeah, and look, people come to games because it's a destination, right?
Right.
You want to have pretty cool food, and you want to have an experience from driveway to driveway where it's seamless for our fans. They're enjoying great basketball, but they're also having a good time. Like, we all remember, like, our first memory of going to a sporting event. And for some of these kids, it might be the Blue Coats. That'll be the first game that they ever see. Right. So we want to make sure it's one they don't forget.
That's great that that's thought out, and that's kind of the behind the scenes what you guys and gals do. The Chase, the field house. Talk to us about that. I mean, multi-purpose. Right.
It's I think the building you play in is part of your culture, and we end up playing in an arena that's one of the best in the league. It's also a youth sports complex. So within that whole complex, 160,000 square feet, there's this arena. So we have 2 million people coming through that building every year, and we're part of it. So it's a chance for engaged kids, which is a big part of the community work that we do. And obviously they can come and see some great basketball and work out and have fun.
That's a great time. Hey, folks, stick around. We're talking with Larry Meli. We'll be right back. And little birds are chirping. There may be something happening in the local area. But also I want to let you know that you, too, can go check the Blue Coats out. It's not that far of a trip. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back. We're here for more with Larry Meli, president of the Delaware Blue Coats. Listen, let's talk a little bit about the hopping around. One of the unique things with the G League, and you're able to experiment, so to speak. Talk what that means to the G League and our surrounding areas.
Yeah, sometimes it could be a little bit of the Wild Wild West. We can try different things, and that's the point of the G League. It's like, if it works there, maybe you can try it on the NBA side.
Got it.
But the flexibility is that we have an opportunity to take our game on the road to our surrounding communities. Like I was saying earlier, I think we are a regional team. Delaware is our home base, but South Jersey, Pennsylvania are certainly areas that we expand into. Next year, for example, we are going to play a game at the Wells Fargo Center. Engage South Jersey schools, Philadelphia schools for what we call an Education Day game. It's basically a field trip to a basketball game, which probably we didn't have growing up, but kids now can go to a game, and there's educational vendors and a message around it, but it's giving them an opportunity to see a professional basketball game live, and we'll be doing that at the Wells Fargo Center. And then we talked about the opportunity, and with your help, certainly, is can we take our game here to Atlantic City next year? So Boardwalk Hall being that backdrop, it'd be so cool to engage this community, which I believe is a basketball community.
Oh, yeah.
Not only Atlantic City, but all the surrounding towns around it, to come out for a game, allow our players to engage this community and use the power of basketball to help lift it up some more.
Larry, to your point, I mean, just watching through the years, going to school in this area after we moved from Philly, now more than ever, the past 15 years, basketball, boys and girls, strongholds, whether it's Mainland, Holy Spirit, Oakhurst, Absegam. I could just go on with the different teams. South Jersey, just going that way, Shawnee. And so I really believe that that is something that could pick up some of the new fans, to say. One of the things I'm going to ask you too is about being televised with the Blue Coats, but also with the fact that you're at Wells Fargo. So here's the thing, I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's invite some of these teams down, these schools down here to the Wells Fargo, kind of set the tone of, hey, this is what we could possibly do, whether it's AC High or Holy Spirit or maybe some, and this is what we can do down there.
I would love that. That
Right?
would be awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, it just doesn't have to be the schools surrounding Philadelphia
Yeah.
and Camden. If we can draw, because we're going to have schools from Delaware coming up to that game too. So, yeah, if we can reach down a little bit further to Atlantic City and give them the opportunity to bring their students up, it'd be awesome.
And to touch on, again, I don't want to get too far into the Atlantic City thing, but I'm going to. I mean, they call me ACMike. And I always thought it was when the guy was busting my chops on social media, that was air-conditioned Mike. But he was calling me Atlantic City Mike. But here's the thing, too. Again, hard basketball, tough, strong. I mean, that's what you guys bring. And to have a fan base, again, South Jersey, it's here, it's close-knit. I mean, to go to Delaware is not that far in the sense of that. You know, the economics of it, when you guys draw at the Chase, what are you looking at? I don't want to put you on the spot neither, but, you know, what's a good crowd there? Because I'm not sure.
I mean, on the weekends, we're drawing close to 2,000 people.
Yeah, it's
and
nice.
So we do really well, and that's kind of, that community comes out and supports, for sure. I think the idea is we are an extension of the Sixers, right? So I think you give an opportunity for people to feel that brand of basketball, and we can do that for them. So coming into Atlantic City, like I said, using the power of basketball to kind of bring everyone together, put on a show. You know, the Sixers entertainment squad is part of our game, so they would be, you know, at our games in Atlantic City, hopefully, and doing this. So I think it would be a lot of fun. And
that's what you hit, what I was trying to say there. I was trying to get out. My last question was being affiliated. Yeah. That's so important. Again, not to knock the Surf or some of the other teams that we've had here in Atlantic City. And they were supported to an extent. They were really great products on the field or on the ice or whatever it may be. I think when you have something affiliated, it's Sixers. All right, we all know, you know, however you feel about them, we know who the Sixers are. You know, we here are very into community, and you touched on it in the first segment, clinics and stuff like that you have, again, not just for Delaware residents. Talk to us about that involvement too, because that's so important, because that's our future, teaching them and then giving back. Yeah, well, you just told me off the air about the boxing event coming to Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall, and how the fighters went to the PAL and met with the kids. Like I think every sports team and athlete has a responsibility to be ingrained in the community and give back. And because people pay attention, like we had this incredible platform. So for us, and they were in their shoes at one point too, when they were growing up. So I think we walk an athlete into a school,
7-foot athlete. Everyone pays attention, right? All of a sudden, kids get quiet, and the teachers are like, "Really? I mean, this is crazy." But they see success, and I think us being able to give back and help communities, especially the underserved communities, is so important and critical to what we do.
No, absolutely. And when you say underserved or whether it's finances or whatnot, and listen, I was there. There was 9 of us in the house, and Mom and Pop busted their behinds, but there wasn't enough money for hockey pads and all that. Although I was probably the only Puerto Rican that was playing hockey at the time, but it was hand-me-down type stuff. But to be able to, and I just want to say this right, basketball. That's what we did. We went out in the ball. You can do this. We can all, and then when you see, again, I'm piggybacking on what you're just talking about, as a young man or a young girl, seeing a professional athlete. I remember Ray Schultz and Dave Schultz coming to the St. Nick's in Egg Harbor City. He was with the Firebirds, the one brother, and the Hammer was with the Flyers, Dave Schultz. And it was just like, wow, these guys are here. And it made us, again, it brought a hockey team literally to Egg Harbor City, New Jersey, and just kids, black, white, Hispanic, they were involved in this, and it's just so important. And to your point when you're saying, because it drew me back to Barkley, when Charles Barkley said, well, I'm not and I know he was like a tongue-in-cheek a little bit, and maybe there was, but it is important. We need to see that. And then the time in which we live with our phones, the kids and athletes, and how they, I don't want to say idolize them, because you shouldn't, but they look up to that.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think the beauty of the G League, it's all wrapped around the pursuit of a dream.
Right.
Right?
Like
We're
that.
not going into schools and saying, hey, try to become a basketball player. It's not about that. It's like, this is what I did to get to this point in my life, right? Believing in myself, hard work, the importance of teamwork and your teammates, being a great teammate. And I think when you go in, and whether you like it or not, kids do look up to these players and they listen. So I think to be able to give that message, I think it'll resonate with them more. Like even one of our community programs is wrapped around literacy.
Yeah.
And we found out through our partner, the Children's Hospital, that the #1 predictor of adult success in life is being able to read on grade level by the 3rd grade. We're finding out that a lot of these kids either don't have a book at home, can't read, and it just puts them in a really tough spot. So we've been able to provide books, get them excited about reading. When we bring a player in to read to a kid, it just gets them excited about it. And then we give them a book, and they can take it home. And we had countless letters about not only kids getting excited about reading and learning how to read, helping an adult in the same house learn how to read. So I think that's really where, sports, the power of it can change lives.
It's beyond the court. It's beyond, and the fact that you guys are thinking that way, and it should be that way, right? When you sit down and think about it, it's just unfortunate that in this day and age, in 2025, I'll date the show right here, what we're doing, is the fact that it still does happen, and it's unfortunate, whether it's the books or whatnot. You touched on it too, and I think this is a good opportunity for that. Some of your partners, because what you do is partner as well with different businesses, organizations. Talk about some of them. I mean, you could go into it a little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we are an extension of a lot of these companies who want to get involved in the community, right? And they recognize how sports teams can really resonate with kids. So countless partners that we have, whether it's from Chase Bank to AmeriHealth to Nemours Children's Hospital, will use our platform, our players, to convey their philanthropic side. So we kind of pound the chest for them. Right. And so I think that's really where it's important, and we need that community support and that corporate support to help drive our business.
We got a few minutes here. And what I want to do with this few minutes before giving you the last word is, again, you touched on it first segment. Tell our listening viewer audience, anybody that's out there, again, what they're going to get when they come to a Blue Coats game, what they're going to experience, just what you're going to see and experience, the closeness of it all.
Yeah, I think that's what we try to bring, is that sense of community.
Yeah.
So I think if you go on to our website, and it's bluecoats.team, and you'll see what we do in the community around South Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania, to help uplift those communities, using our players and getting them out there and give you that pride that, hey, we are giving back. And, you know, giving you a chance to come out, even if it's just for a night of basketball, to escape, to allow your kid an opportunity to create a memory for them, whether it's the mascot, whether it's getting an autograph from a future NBA player. I think it's a really powerful thing, and you can have some fun.
I love it. Listen, drop back when I was a kid and we talked about it, it does stick with you and you remember those type of events and type of experiences. Now, here you go. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give me a little Atlantic City, something, whether you like different, a good time in Atlantic City at some time or point.
I go so far back. I mean, I remember coming to Atlantic City, even just to go to the beaches, right? I go there and with the kids and they can run wild. And luckily my brother had a place here that we could kind of set up shop and go to the beach. And then as I became an adult, like just the nightlife, staying at the casinos always felt special and different. And it was such a unique experience. And then I'm such a foodie that there's so many great places to eat in AC. Sometimes we'll come to AC versus going into Philly just because it's just the backdrop's different. It feels different. And so I love coming down here.
So, Larry, listen, we're about at the end of it. Let folks know where they could find you, your work, whatever it may be if they want to entail some of the community events as well.
Right. So, beautiful thing. Go to our website. It's a great website, bluecoats.team. And you'll see everything that we're involved in, right? So everything from our community work to who some of our big partners are that you can get involved with. You can see some of the camps that we have, which is an important part of our business, right? Offering camps and clinics to the youth in this area. So we run that throughout the summer, and that's a big part of like our community engagement as well. So you learn basketball basically from some of our coaches, some of our staff, people that have played at a high level. But it's a really cool thing that we offer at the Field House, which is, like I said, one of the best arenas in the G League.
That's awesome. Listen, and make sure, folks, you get out there. Want to say thanks again to Larry Meli, president of the Delaware Blue Coats. Larry, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back. And listen, make sure you go check out the Delaware Blue Coats. You do yourself a favor if you do. Hey, folks, it's our belief here at the Mike Lopez TV Show that you, the viewers, and our guests bring the show to life. Thanks to each and every one of you for joining us. To learn more about AC Mike, go to acmikej.com, on Facebook at ACMike, Mike Lopez, and LiveWorkPlayAC. On Instagram, you could find me at ACMikeNJ. If you enjoyed watching today's show, you can also listen to my radio show on 1400 and 92.3, WONDradio.com on the World Wide Web, Monday through Friday, noon till 1 p.m. Remember always, folks, to live, work, play AC, and I'll see you on the 48.